feet 3, 420 pounds. Batista's got to out-wrestle Khali in 8 days.
Weighing 323 pounds, Kane.
And speaking of a gentleman who's had his run-in with Khali as well, last night, Friday Night SmackDown, the WrestleMania rematch, John. Those injured ribs, the hands of the shillelagh by Finlay. Also those ribs, the victim of the claw by Khali.
And JR, I've got to ask you, you've called this business for 20-something years. Kane and Batista couldn't put down Khali. It's like going after a sequoia with a small hand axe. What in the world can he do against this monster Khali?
My name is Finlay, and I love to fight.
Introducing next, from Belfast, Northern Ireland, weighing 233 pounds, Finlay.
And JR, to answer John's question, who can do it?
Well, the thing about it is somehow, some way, you got to get Khali off his feet, destroy the vertical base. A heck of a lot easier said than done, let me tell you.
And here is a man who's not really, been in good graces with Kane over the past few weeks. The Fighting Irishman, Finlay, who used that shillelagh as a weapon against the Big Red Machine.
Finlay loves to fight. We will see a fight here tonight. Say it, JR.
From India, standing over 7 feet tall, weighing 420 pounds, he is a world heavyweight champion, the Great Khali.
Say it, JR. What is business about to do?
I think business is about to pick up in Madison Square Garden here. Just 8 days from SummerSlam. The biggest, most dominating world champion in history is on his way to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to see this man in person to believe how big he really is.
Well, just 24 hours ago on Friday Night SmackDown, Khali dominated. First Kane winning the matchup with that claw. Finlay would come into the ring, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Dominate Kane as Batista came to the rescue. Off the spinebuster, Khali would unveil another part of the weapon. A vice-like, massive claw. Bringing the animal to his knees, Batista was lifeless as Khali was a dominant champion again. And that's what it's all about. A week from Sunday at SummerSlam, the world title, Khali versus Batista.
Everywhere Khali has been, there's been bodies left laying everywhere. They've carried him off like cordwood. He has been, one word, dominant.
I have seen a lot of athletes utilize the claw, but none as effective as the Great Khali for one reason. None of them were as big or as strong. Khali's hands are absolutely abnormal. They're huge. His strength is off the charts. And that claw is tailor-made for the Great Khali.
In his tag team matchup, courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown, underway here on Saturday night's main event. And Kane and Finlay, who have quite a personal issue developing here over the past few weeks. And John, it all started on SmackDown when Finlay knocked a cup of coffee out of Jamie Noble's hand right into the face of the Big Red Machine.
And that is the reason why Kane's ribs are tough because of
Here's
Finlay.
the cover, hook of the leg, and a kick out. Finlay and the shillelagh.
Finlay and the shillelagh have done their damage on the big monster Kane.
Kane, a former WWE champion, going to work on the former United States champion Finlay. Tag made to the animal Batista. And JR, you talked about the size of Khali's hands. Bigger, the width, the wingspan, bigger than an NFL football. Here's the cover and a kick out.
That's contact.
And two. What can Batista do? What does he have to do? What can he use in his repertoire to stay away from Khali's claw?
You got to go to Khali's legs somehow, some way. Batista's got to focus on Khali's legs in 8 days at SummerSlam.
And Batista taking it to Finlay. They have had quite a history in the past as well. Finlay, the Fighting Irishman, caught in midair. And that's the power game that Batista employs.
But that's a power game that is going to be virtually useless, Michael, against the Great Khali. You're not going to overpower the most powerful guy this business maybe has ever seen in Khali.
Finlay in trouble. Batista, the two-time world champion. Batista, Kane dominating on Saturday night's main event. But the Great Khali yet to enter this matchup. We are back on Saturday night's main event. The great Khali and Finlay dominating Kane and Batista. You see the concern on Batista's face because of what happened to his partner Kane during the commercial break. The great Khali working on the already injured ribs of the Big Red Machine, realizing the bullseye on Kane's ribs, and Khali, much like last night, the claw to the injured ribs.
Humongous hands containing super strength. And look at the wingspan of that hand, and Kane doing all he can to free himself from the grip of Khali.
Right back to the ribs for Khali. Khali can take 12 regular-sized golf balls and put them in that hand, and again back to the floor.
You know, we can't forget that Kane is 6'10". The Kane is over 300 pounds. But look at the size abnormality of the great Khali. He is engulfing Kane when they're both at a vertical position. But in this position, it's all Khali.
Kane gonna try to battle back in the match.
And that right hand will normally put an average man down. But obviously Khali is no average man.
Running into that boot is like running into a wall.
Khali had Ric Flair, 16-time world champion, screaming in anguish.
Here we go! He had Batista lifeless for 2 straight weeks as the animal comes in off the tag. The #1 contender taking it to Finlay. Oh, and Khali still not knocked off the apron.
Resourceful move by Finlay, the veteran.
Oh, with a side slam, drilling Finlay. Cover 2 and a kick out. Hornswoggle, the Cruiserweight champion. Finlay's little leprechaun. And Hornswoggle may regret this night.
Finlay made 2. Irish eyes were not smiling.
And Kane and Batista double-teaming Khali. Maybe not what they need to do.
2 of the biggest, strongest men in the WWE still have not gotten the great Khali off the world champion's feet.
But Khali he's wrapped up in the ropes.
What are they doing? Wait a minute. What are they doing with Hornswoggle? Come on, you can't toss a leprechaun.
The smallest champion being used as a weapon against the largest
Not a
champion.
battering ram. Where's Peter? Come on.
The biggest man in the WWE.
Isn't there some short people society that should be protesting this?
I think Hornswoggle.
Khali!
Retribution. Enormous retribution.
Batista, Kane powering up. Khali, double choke slam.
Wow.
The monster's down.
It took 2 near 300-pounders. Oh, man, spear to get Khali down. Both Batista and Kane.
But at SummerSlam, though, JR, there's not going to be a second 300-pounder. There may be a Batista bomb, but I don't think he can do that to the great Khali.
Here's the cover of the Batista bomb. And Batista and Kane have defeated Finlay and Khali.
The winners of this match, the team of Kane and Batista.
And the question is, John, to get back to your point, how in the world can Batista deliver a Batista bomb to Khali?
And I would question that call, Michael. They did not defeat Finlay and Khali. They doubled up and defeated Finlay. Khali is still standing right there, your world champion.
If Batista can't beat Khali with power, then how is Batista going to beat Khali at SummerSlam in 8 days?